of Swiss at Kansas City Regionals. This time we are bringing you a match between Jonathan Rankin and Paul Chua. Jonathan Rankin we saw earlier on the stream. Paul Chua, a new face, not only to the stream but also to the Masters division.
Yeah, I brought Jonathan Rankin back to the stream, not just because of him, because of Paul. Paul is the former senior national champion. Yeah, we'll go ahead. So I knew this was gonna be a great show, great round for the final, which is actually round 8.
All right, so let's take a look at the teams. Jonathan, we saw earlier, Virizion, Landorus, Mawile, Rotom, Hydreigon, Talonflame. Paul's team, including Politoed, Ludicolo.
True to his username.
Yes.
Politoed.
Ludicolo, Mawile, Aegislash, Terrakion, and Thundurus. So we could possibly see some rain from Paul's end.
Yeah, this is pretty hard offensive rain. May or may not be as hard offensive rain as Gabby's team, which we saw earlier today. I mean, there's no Kingdra. Paul substitutes a Ludicolo in that position. And to round out the set, we have Mawile, Aegislash, and Terrakion.
Mawile's on both sides of the field. That could be interesting.
Could be. I mean, the rain gives a lot of protection in terms of fire against fire for the Mawiles there, and the Aegislash in Paul's case.
It doesn't look like either team is really going to rely on firepower, so to speak.
No. Now, with Talonflame on Jonathan's side, that Ludicolo might be a liability. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Talonflames. It's kind of gotten a little phased out of the metagame, but it still evidently shows some presence in the top cuts at these regionals, as J-Rank just managed.
Well, interesting leads sent out. Landorus and Talonflame on Jonathan's side. Paul decides to lead with that Ludicolo Politoed. So you already mentioned Ludicolo could be in a tough situation if Talonflame comes out, and that's exactly what we see.
Now, actually, looking at the HP stat on the Politoed, I imagine it's a Choice Scarf variant. And it's not going to have to be a Choice Scarf Landorus, but it could just right away start scalding or hydro pumping Talonflame here.
Well, Talonflame could get off a Brave Bird beforehand with that priority ability from Gale Wings, but we also have to take into account Ludicolo and a possible fake out.
Yeah. Now, I imagine if Paul goes to the fake out here, Paul is going to have to withdraw Talonflame next turn at least.
Well, he decides to withdraw Landorus at least this turn and instead sends out his own Hydreigon. Ludicolo fakes out the Hydreigon.
Interesting choice.
Yes, truly interesting as the Talonflame sets up Tailwind. So, Scarf Politoed might not go first next turn.
Ooh, good call from Paul here. Deciding not faking out the Talonflame, expecting it to Tailwind or set up instead, and goes for a Surf, hitting all Pokemon in the field. Doesn't hit his partner Ludicolo very much due to that quadruple resist to water there.
But that's the problem with Talonflame is those weak defenses. So it goes down quickly, Scald in the rain.
Yeah, it does Tailwind. Its job is done, and then hopefully it goes down quickly so you can get a fresh offensive Pokemon in safely. But that does come at the expense of starting at your offense at a 3 with a 1 Pokemon deficit.
So true. And now he's sent out Landorus, and a Landorus in the rain opposing a Ludicolo and Politoed might not be the best thing. It does have Tailwind support up, so that could help.
Yeah.
At least the Hydreigon.
I think Paul's play here might be to try and stall at that Tailwind, and because he still has a speed advantage with Politoed and Ludicolo, as long as the rain is up. But he has to wait out that Tailwind first.
Paul actually chooses to do a double switch and instead sends in his Mawile and Thundurus as Hydreigon Dark pulses the Thundurus slot, taking it down to about 60%, but that Citrus Berry helps it restore some more health.
Yeah, interesting to note that the Hydreigon is faster than the Landorus here, so it's reassured that it's not a Choice Scarf variant, maybe a Choice Band even. or an assault vest, as we saw earlier today.
Jonathan sends out his Mawile.
Mawile.
Interesting, gonna get the Intimidate off on Paul's Mawile.
Well timed too, but I mean, even after an Intimidate, nothing's going to stop the Hydreigon from being KO'd by a play rough, except if it misses, of course. But with Thundurus in the field, can show some Prankster Thunder Waves here, start slowing Jonathan's team down. And here we go, Jonathan cycling some more Intimidates in. Mawile's offensive power going away very quickly. He's going to have to shuffle it out if he's going to get some serious hits off with it.
And something to note, Jonathan, sorry. Never mind.
Okay, anyway.
There we go. I was going to say, he hasn't Mega Evolved yet. Well, there, now we both have both
Yeah, he
Mawiles
was
and Mega.
clearly waiting, clearly holding off on the Mega Evolution just to get those Intimidates off.
Unfortunately, Paul's going to Thunder Wave that Mawile, reduce Mawile's speed, and we've got the chance of paralysis. But not
Play
this
rough.
turn. A Play Rough knocks out that Thundurus. So, both players starting to lose Pokemon. An Iron Head from Mawile onto Landorus.
That's a decent chunk, but definitely not as much as it could have been hitting for. And he's going to have to cycle it out if he's going to get that attack boost back. But if Tailwind wears off, he could hit Jonathan's Mawile pretty hard here. We already saw from earlier rounds that it's not very doesn't have a lot of investment in its defenses here.
Ludicolo decides to fake out the Mawile on the next turn. As Landorus U-turns, hopefully to get another Intimidate off on that Mawile shortly.
Wow.
U-turn does a massive amount of damage to that Ludicolo, knocks it out immediately.
Okay, that's definitely a choice band Landorus we're looking at here. I'm pretty sure he would not have KO'd otherwise. But now Paul is back in a pretty tight position here. Oh, but he predicts the Hydreigon switch in. The U-turn, the switch in, gets a Play Rough off and takes out the Hydreigon.
So trading Pokemon back and forth, and the Tailwind does finally peter out. So that's Mawile paralyzed, definitely going last. Landorus comes in for one final Intimidate on Politoed and Mawile.
Yeah. So both players are down 2-2. No, none of them can switch out now. Polish has a really weakened Mawile here, offensively wise, so it's not going to hit hard. But
if the RNG plays in, maybe the Mawile is fully paralyzed, can't get off attacks.
of course, it keeps Iron Heading. There's some flinches involved there. The Landers may or may not be able to KO the Politoed here. Actually, knowing that his choice banded and Tailwind has expired, the Politoed is going to move first due to his choice scarf and take out that Landorus there. And doing significant damage to the Mawile, I'm sure. So, and they're choosing very carefully here. All going for the protects, obviously to protect against Surf. Mawile goes for the Sucker Punch. Wow, does an awful lot.
Politoed gets the Surf off, since we know it's scarfed. Mawile could knock it out again next turn with that Sucker Punch. Landorus goes down, and the rain has stopped too.
Okay. All right. Well, the one possible way I see of Jonathan getting out of this really, really tight position, or he could just forfeit. He could do that too. But if he hadn't forfeited just there, he could try protecting and going for protect and hope that Paul's own Politoed would just surf his own partner Mawile until it fades and does the job for him. But, well,
it's okay. It's round 8. Jonathan